Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And as you can see, uh-oh, all right, something's going on. Hold up. Okay, we're going to start all over again because I can edit this. So anyway, welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm Naomi in Seattle, the Brickanista, and today is January 10th, and we are doing the Builder Insight segments again. As you may know, I've started interviewing different builders around the world, and it's always been interesting seeing what kinds of work that they're doing. And you may remember last week we had talked with Zachary Steinman out of Canada, out of Nova Scotia, and he's been doing amazing cube art. And as I was thinking about that, I said, you know, who would be great as a second guest is somebody who just posted a really cool tip about spheres. And I reached out to her, and she's been on the show before. And I said, hey, you know, you did that video already. You think I could add that to the 2-minute tech tips? And she was so gracious and kind. And she said, absolutely, I want to help you out. And it's also something that we can share in different venues and help other people understand. And hello, Spot the Magic Ninja. Good to have you here. And Lego Fan Bubba's here. Hey, good to see you. And as many of you know, Lego Fan Bubba and my guest are on Instagram all the time doing some fun reels and some other things. So please help me welcome Tacos Blandino. Hey.
Hi, mahalo. What's up?
How's it going?
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you here. And the reason why I don't go on Instagram as much doing lives is that I'm just I'm a duck out of water, you know, or fish out of water, whatever animal you want to put out of water. And this is kind of my platform that I feel most comfortable with. But I do watch you and Lego Fan Bubba a lot on Instagram. And I know that you've been with several, you have like a core group of 4 people, right? That you kind of hang out with on that stream.
It's kind of like a US versus Canada kind of thing going right now. So
okay.
I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the banter. It's all about banter and just having a good time. So we break and we chat. That's it.
Right. It's banter, it's chat. And I think the other reason why it's harder for me is that you see my on-air sign, right? When I go onto Instagram, it's a mirror image.
Oh.
And it drives me crazy.
So you don't like the Raya no?
Well, it's like the writing. It gets into it's like an earworm. You know how when you get a song and that the song won't get out of your head?
There is an option in the settings to reverse the image.
In Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. We might have to talk after the stream. We might have to get baby steps.
I only saw that as an option. I haven't actually played with it.
Oh.
All I know, it's going to be, you know, on the correct side, but you're going to have a mole. And then in the third ear, I have no idea. For who?
I do have a mole. So right here.
There you go.
It's like I have a hard time seeing myself as a mirror image unless I'm, of course, looking in a mirror. And yes, Spot the Magic Ninja, it is Tacos Tuesday. And I am wearing my taco shirt because Taco Cat spelled backwards is Taco Cat.
That's
and
right.
When she was on the show last time, when we were doing the reviews of some of the Lego Masters shows, I wore it again. So this is like your honorary shirt whenever you're on the show. It's like, this is my taco shirt.
You know, what's funny is that, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Why can't I forget his name? Why did I forget his name? The bearded guy. Oh, why can't I remember the bearded builder? My own team.
Boone?
No. My season's Boone. I cannot. Dave. Well, I call him Lechuga.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's like the gnome with the long beard.
But while
filming,
he had gifted me a shirt, and it's a shirt that he's had for years. And it's a Deadpool taco shirt. And so
how fun.
Before my time on the show, before my time ended, I had actually all of them sign it. So it was pretty cute. Still smells like him. Not very pleasant.
You keep it in a Ziploc bag, you could keep his scent around for a while.
He's abandoning us now for Denmark, so I have to.
Well, moving on to bigger and better things, right? Which, for
Absolutely.
those of you who don't know, David Geddes, also known as Brick Lettuce on Instagram, is accepted a job as a designer in Billund, Denmark. So he's moving on to some great things. And yeah, Lego fan Bubba talks about that YouTube confuses him because he's so used to how Insta looks. So,
Yeah.
it's just we each have our own platforms, but
Yeah.
we, watch each other and do things. And I'm just really appreciative that you came on the show today because I did want to chat with you some more. We didn't get a chance to get to know you specifically with regard to the work you're doing in STEM. And I know that you've been doing this for several years now. And I think you also have like a business around it too. So tell us a little bit more about how you got started in this practice.
So I went to school for architectural building design technology, and there everything I designed was pretty whimsical. Before that, I was a pre-K teacher, and I
Mhm.
worked in preschool for so many years, and the days got longer, and the pay cut
Oh,
was
yeah.
really bad. I found myself working over like 40 hours. I would come
Yeah.
home Friday nights, like it would be after 8, and it was just me just picking up the slack, not the slack, but I didn't have time throughout the day to like clean the classroom and just like sort everything. So I was like, you know something, I'm getting tired of this. I'm not getting paid. The class, once I quit and I went back to
Mhm.
school for engineering, um, literally when I left the classroom, it was bare minimum that I was not reimbursed for anything. So I was like, you know something, I need to put my love and devotion into something else. So
Yeah.
when I went to school, everything I designed was child based, was very whimsical. From adding swing sets and slides to a
Hmm.
bus stop to to fire departments, just making it a little bit more playful, more
Hmm.
obstacle course
Right.
training style related.
Because you
So
do have a whimsical style in general. I mean, just the
yeah,
way you have a look. I mean, that's one thing that I hope to be able to capture someday is what is my look. I don't think I have a look. You are very distinctive and so much fun to watch too, and very colorful. So, and it's good that you're bringing that whimsical nature into your builds and what you do.
it's just something that was always part of me, and I don't know. I'm not an only child, but it's almost as if I was an only child. So I tried
Hmm.
to capture a lot of like my childhood in a way, or my imagination of my
Hmm.
during my childhood into my schoolwork. And then once I graduated, I landed a job teaching engineering with Lego. While I was in school, everything I really enjoyed was 3D making. I didn't
Hmm.
really care for rendering stuff online. Yes, Revit, all that stuff is really cool, it's nice, but I like to work with my hands. I like the tangibility of working with blocks and cardboard. And I wanted more, but the school couldn't offer that. So once I landed a job, you know, playing with Lego, I was like, oh my God, this is what I do. This is what I want to do. And this is
Yeah.
what I believed in, the mission of bringing STEM to everyone, especially females. When I graduated, there was 11 of us females. So
11 out of how many?
I think there was like 53, a class of 53, and
Right.
there was 11 of us that
Wow.
graduated, that were female. So it
Hmm.
was intimidating because here we have a whole bunch of construction workers. Here we have kids like straight out of college, e, they all had a some kind of engineering background,
Hmm.
or I didn't have any of that. I studied education, so it was different for me. So I came in with a different perspective,
But you
completely.
held your own. I mean, that's what's great is that
I tr-
sometimes,
I tried my best.
this wasn't the topic of today's discussion, but it is relevant that, being a woman in a technical field, it hasn't changed that much. It's still very much a male dominated industry. And that's great that you and the 10 other women were able to hold their own in this is really, it sounds like it might have been competitive too.
Absolutely. Actually, every time I went to class, I was
Hmm.
always confused for the interior designer department. I'm like, no, no, I'm here for architecture. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'll fluff pillows at my house. I'm not here to fluff your pillows. It's okay.
And it's not a euphemism for something else either, by the way. I know who's in the chat, so don't take that out of context. You don't want that snipped on and reposted on the internet. So none of that, folks.
I'm gonna blame Lego Fan Bubba for that. So.
Yeah, and we have a couple new people who have joined in, and of course, one of your pals, Evie Good, is here. How's it going?
Aw,
And
Eddie.
DB Bricks, or Debo Bricks, I should say, and Lena, welcome.
Mahalo. What's up?
Yeah. Well, so going back to being in this, you're studying architecture. You're one of 11 out of 50 some odd people who are in this class. And then you graduated, right? And then you got this job. And how cool is that? That it's like, here, what we want you to do is take this Lego and work on this.
And what's crazy is that I never played with Lego as a kid. All I was ever gifted was Barbie dolls. And so I got bored really quickly. So then I decided to start designing clothes for them because my sister went to a fashion industry school.
Oh,
okay. And then I was like, okay, what else? So I was like, all right, let me build a city for them. So I started building houses and just little community buildings. And it was all out of cardboard boxes, out of the cereal boxes, the Quaker oatmeal containers. So,
Right.
they all had the interesting shapes, but I learned scoring the cardboard with my help of my dad. I was always my father's assistant. He was a maintenance man. So I was always there holding the flashlight. I was always there, like passing him the wrench. My brothers were too busy playing in the streets. I was the one being the handyman.
Helping your dad out.
Yeah. So I learned a lot of my skills from my father. My father actually has only second or third grade education, but he could live on an island and survive. Like, he's the most uneducated engineer, but he kills it at everything that he does. So I'm really proud.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes to show you that you don't need the degree to be smart and intelligent with things. And often it has to do with how we're brought up. And some people who follow me know that I came from a working class family. My father was a postal worker and my mom worked at the jewelry counter at Macy's. And so some of it, when people are talking about their hauls, their Lego hauls for their kids, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we had a bucket of Lego that was brought out, that was shared. So it would be thrown down on a blanket or something on the floor, and you just had to build what you could, and then you'd have to tear it apart and put it back in the bin. Yeah. So I think that sometimes having that, scrappy upbringing, I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about you, unless you want to claim it.
I'm all there. I'm all there for it.
Yeah.
I didn't even have Lego as an option,
Yeah. And it's just great that you have this gift now of being able to share your passion for Lego in the classroom with some of your STEM students. Yeah. So give us an idea of when you go into a classroom. First of all, do you have to recruit the students yourself, or are they already part of another program? You're affiliated with the school, and how does that work?
So during the pandemic, my old company closed their doors. So the pandemic was around February, March. I opened my doors during September. I started off virtually. So since the company closed the doors, I am still very tight-knit with my students.
Yeah.
Because our mothership, as they called it, was like based out of California. Me living in New England, I was starving to see my students again, and you reach certain students, and this was their only outlet. This is where some of them were on the spectrum. Some of them, were just really shy. And in Lego class, in engineering class, it was a place for them to really unleash and just explore and have fun, and I really wanted to seek out those students specifically. So I started off with 7 kids teaching virtually. And then I eventually
this was all through Zoom when you were teaching the 7 students?
Zoom. And it was hard. It was difficult because I had to send them the individual pieces. So it was expensive.
I
You
was
know,
just going to ask, how did you manage that? So you like put kits together and sent them to each of the
yep,
students?
I had a little notepad with everything, all the materials, and I had to put in extra pieces in case they drop the bushing here and there.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure, I had to compensate for that, and then I had to also think on my feet in case they misplaced their kit or something like that. So it was difficult.
Mhm.
Teaching virtually at the height of the pandemic was very difficult. And then I started teaching pod classes. That was very popular during the pandemic,
Mhm.
where people, would get together, and not really for educational sake, but more of a nature pod. So that's what I started my little girl off. So we did a little nature pod, and I got to meet other people. So that's when
So
we
when
felt
you talk
comfortable.
about a pod, you're talking about like a small group of people who are in their own little bubble with the
Absolutely.
pandemic, that they know that they're
We just
clean,
only associate we only see each other in person with that very small
that
group.
small
It was
group.
it was less than 7. It was probably like 6 kids at most per
Hmm.
group. And then the parents, we were all wearing our masks, we were all meeting outside. So that is basically how it started. Then
Wow.
word got out, and so one person would give my reference to someone else, and then, then I was finally able to get my LLC. It was actually in the process during
Hmm.
Lego Masters that I got I surely got my LLC. Like, I even had to like
Yay.
sign away like my signature taco over here so it can be on the show and everything. So
So
that way they
so
knew
the
it was like
what's the
my
name
brand.
of your LLC as far as
Powered by tacos.
Powered by Tacos?
Powered by
Awesome. And then
tacos.
you have STEM Powered by Tacos as a handle as well.
Yes, yes, yes. So Facebook is powered by tacos. Instagram is STEM powered by tacos.
Okay.
So before Lego, I hear an echo. Um, Before the pandemic, I actually not only did I teach Lego, I actually taught Goldie Blocks. So I was about to sign a contract with Girl Scouts of America to teach STEM classes for them.
Oh,
But
wow.
so I had so much in the works, but it didn't work out. The pandemic hit, and then everyone
It
closed their
was
doors.
kind of a blessing in disguise because that's how you also got some visibility for the work you're doing in Lego, and then Lego Masters came around. And for those of you who have not seen that, we talked about that in the interview with Michelle, and how you actually went through several different interviews with different partners before landing with Michelle.
Yep.
And I think that's really been interesting, just seeing that journey too.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go through that because we want to talk about you and STEM. And before we do, we also want to mention too, some people in the chat were saying that being part of being an adult is not having to take the Lego apart and put it away, because just like other people, Lego fan Bubba also said that had zero Lego growing up, and your parents didn't allow it. So it's almost like all of us. It's almost like when your parents say you can't eat that because it's too much sugar in it, and then when you get out on your own, it's like
Crazy.
you're going crazy for it. I have a friend who's big into Fruit Loops, all because she wasn't allowed to eat it as a child. So it's like she's got in her cupboard Fruit Loops just to make up for lost time.
Can you blame her? That stuff is really good.
So now that you've got your LLC, so now you've got Powered by Tacos LLC, and now you've got people through referrals coming to see you. And I've seen on your Instagram account how you have this little rolling cart that you carry with you with all of your supplies. And so are your classes still in the 7 to 10 range, or are they bigger than that now? Or how are you
Oh,
managing with
I
your
normally
clients?
teach from 6 to 13, 6 to 14.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, 5 to 14. I separate them by age brackets. But I've done adult workshops. I also work with senior community. Um,
Hmm.
it's a it's actually almost as reverting back to fundamentals. We
Hmm.
keep it very basic, but you can't underestimate the senior community, because there's some people that they may not talk,
Grandpappies.
but they have knowledge beyond their, like, it's just they can do circles around you with their life experience. And I have one gentleman, You call him my boyfriend. He's 82.
Wow.
So not only he's a STEM, well, I don't call it STEM. I just call it Lego group with the senior
Mm-hmm.
community. He's also one of my fitness students as well. But yeah, he worked as a carpenter since he was 14 years old in the Dominican Republic. So he tells me some stuff, and it's beautiful to hear his experience. Here I'm trying to
Right.
teach him, and I'm like, oh wait, no, he's 84, he's 82 years old. He knows all about this, But
Right.
it's getting back to uh, Alzheimer's and dementia. It actually helps with arthritis at times, just because it can be therapeutic. But I do notice that some of my women tend to get a little possessive.
Oh,
There's some people that really like to have a specific color scheme, and if you're going for a specific color scheme, it's going to take some time, and if they don't get all the right colors, then they get a little upset. But
oh,
you get to figure out a lot of their quirks.
personality
Yeah, their
issues.
personalities are just as vivacious as if they were 7 years old. So it's
Have you talked with the grandpappies? Because when we interviewed the grandpappies, they were talking about doing some more workshops and also targeting the senior community, and that might be a place for you to partner with them.
that would be awesome. Well, the distance is the issue, like
Right.
for senior community isn't so into virtual stuff.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
That's the only issue.
Oh
My
yeah, my
I
mom needs help every time I'm trying to get her on a Zoom call.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I still have issues with my mom signing her name at the bottom of a text. It's like,
Oh,
I already know, Mom. I already know it's you. It's okay.
so some people have been mentioning about, yeah, you don't want to mess up the color scheme if you have somebody working hard on that.
Yeah.
And I did not know that Fruit Loops had Lego sets in them. It says that E.B. Good says that my first Lego set came from Fruit Loops. Did so? Is that Kellogg or is that
I,
General Mills?
I
I can't
believe it's
remember.
Kellogg's. That's how a lot of us got our toys through those
I know
stimulus.
McDonald's did that for a long time,
Wow.
and I okay, that's like a fun fact there.
We're
All
gonna
right.
have to find all those hard to those that's actually a fun little thing right there. Where do you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
Lego from as a child?
we're gonna have to do an episode on that. That was back in 1985. Okay, so we're gonna reach out to you, EB Good / EB Bricks, and we'll maybe do an episode about that, just
That'd be
about
fun.
where has Lego come from? Because didn't Samsonite also do a little bit of Lego for a while? And I heard something about Samsonite being involved. So yeah, I mean, there's just who knows. In the annals of Lego history, I'm sure that there's got to be some more stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
but that sounds like a good future episode. But so going back to you work with seniors, you work with students in different age groups, usually in groups of 6 to 13/14.
I,
So
I even have gone to the college and done brick rubrics where the kids the students bring a keg and we do simple competitions. It's very similar to convention,
I
but,
don't I
but a
don't know.
little
You
more
guys are pretty
education.
wild at convention. I can say I witnessed some heavy drinking from lots of different people at BrickCon.
Well, my part, I don't do. I just bring the bricks. They bring the brew. I bring the bricks. So, yeah.
Now, do you do corporate events as well? Have you done that? Hmm.
I've for Google, for Fidelity, um,
Okay.
and for
Oh,
a
that's
couple of
awesome.
other. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's cool. So now that you've been doing this for a couple years, or maybe a year, right? Because you said you got the
The LLC
LLC
has been for
last year,
yeah, the LLC
right?
for a year. Yeah.
So what are your plans for how you're going to take Powered by Tacos to, using your newfound fame, adding STEM in the classroom? Uh, have you thought about where you might be taking this?
So my mission has always bringing STEM to kids in a fun manner,
Mm-hmm.
which is through the magic of plastic, through bricks. You know what I mean? No matter before, right before Lego Masters, I had worked for Rimosa, which is art and science museum. Um, I wasn't teaching with Lego. I was using cardboard. You know what I mean? I would teach about different, I teach about Archimedes screw and stuff like that. And I'm using cardboard. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
medium I have.
Right.
So the idea is to bring STEM to understand, all these artists, all these people that came before us who paved the way, and to bring that in a fun manner to kids. And
Mm-hmm.
my target is girls, ideally. I work at a lot of all girl schools. My mission is to go across the states, and reach out to other um, girls in a similar position as myself. I never had these kind of role models when I was a kid. All I had was just teacher or the
Mm-hmm.
person who used to do my hair. So, these were my only role models. My father, he was like, yeah, maybe you could go to culinary school so you could cook better. I was like,
Right.
oh, thanks. My mom wanted me to go to cosmetology so I can do people's hair in my family. I was like, okay, so this is all I have for options. Who knows what other options you have
You
out.
can do Lego and you can do hair. So that'll be, hairstyles powered by tacos if
This
you
is
want.
why I put on a hat so I won't have to deal with my hair. Let's be honest. If I take this off, you would just see greasy mess. I just taught Zuba. So
So Lego fan Bubba talks about what? AFOLs have adult beverages? This is brand new information to me. So I wanted to mention, so we were doing the 2-minute tech tips, and I'm going to thank you again for doing that. And for people who have not seen that, and I do want to mention it, that we show the 2-minute tech tip in addition to social media. We do it around the 30-minute mark, and I think this is a little bit early, but I think this is probably a good time to show it. So for those of you who haven't seen it, we're going to show it right now. So check out Tacos Blandino. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And today's 2-minute tech tip is from Tacos Blandino. Check it out.
what's up? My name is Tacos, and today we're going to build a super simple Lego sphere. Now, normally when you go online to do some research on how to build a sphere, what you're going to get are lots of Lego spheres, and that includes lots of plates. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to need 6 of these web pieces and 8 of these prong pieces. You're going to notice that the prong pieces are facing the same direction. Once you have all those pieces, you're going to build a cross. You're going to notice that my studs are all facing upward and my prongs are all facing in the same direction. They're basically facing crooking down. Next, this is going to take a couple seconds, only a couple snaps. So, boom. Ooh. Halfway there. Almost there. Click. 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 Fastest sphere ever. Not the fastest clipping though. And there you go. How to build a super simple Lego sphere. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.
Wasn't that cool? If you want to learn more about tacos, go to Tacos, Legos, Burritos or STEM Powered by Tacos on Instagram. And feel free to follow youtube.com/Brickanista to learn more tech tips and interviews. May the clutch be with you. So there you go, folks. And I've only done 2 of those. So you have the second one to do one of these tech tips. So anybody in the chat, if you have a tech tip you want to share and be on the show and we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing, we'd love to include you in that as well. And oh, look, Remy Baker is in the house, also known as Brick Literacy, who you've seen before. And yes, I thought that was great. When I first saw you do this on Instagram, I was going, you know what? Those pieces are awesome. And with the clip, how easy is that? And every time you hear about building a sphere, everybody talks about the Lowell sphere. So that was really great to give a whole new perspective. So really appreciate that. And that was cool. Yeah. So I'm surprised Lego fan Bubba, you didn't see that. I think this is the 3rd time I've seen that video now, because you did it earlier and then you re-recorded it.
Yeah.
And then we played it many times today. So yes, the word is getting out Tacos knows her stuff.
So
And I apologize. I said tacos, Legos, burritos. It's actually Legos, tacos, burritos, if you're going to follow her. And I literally happen to be on Bricklink right now anyway. Okay, Remy. Cool. You're
so
a slacker.
a fun thing about the whole sphere is that you
Uh-huh.
can continue connecting it when it comes to the prongs. So once you
Oh.
connect all the prongs onto one of the webs, you can actually even change the shape. They can basically collapse. So
Mm-hmm.
that's there's so many different ways. With a Lowell sphere, you can decorate topical. Here, you can
Mm-hmm.
decorate topical, but you can actually transform the shape itself, still
Right.
using the same pieces. So that's why I actually like to play with this, just because of the negative space allows you to, I don't know, tinker a little bit more personally.
Right.
Ah,
And I think you brought up a good point too about the negative space, how sometimes people think that's a negative thing when in fact you can embrace it and use it to many advantages. And your sphere is the second video after we just did a cube. So I just said, oh my God, that's perfect. We've got to do that. I do have some other AFOLs that I'm reaching out to about different tech tips that they might be doing as well. So I'm glad people are enjoying that. That's something new for 2023.
yeah.
Now, when you are, one thing that we had talked about before the show is that we were talking about that now students have cell phones all the time. So in the past, with some of these other programs like Mindstorm's EV3s, you needed to have that. Oh, okay. She just did a rebuild while we're talking.
So you just connect them, and then you could actually collapse them. It's just,
Oh, that's cool.
and it collapses all
Yes.
into each other. So sorry, it's like a fidget
No,
spinner.
don't be sorry. It's all part of the tech tip, right? And hopefully, the reason why I wanted to do these tech tips were a couple of reasons. One of them is many people think of Lego as intimidating, and especially with coming out with mocks. So when you see something like what Zach Steinman has done, I don't know if you follow him or not,
Of
but
course.
he does just these mind-blowing builds. But he says it all comes down to a basic cube.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with the cube, and then he talks about going into the corners, and then he replicates the corners. He says it's really that simple, but people haven't seen the process broken down. So if you see the process broken down into something, my whole point of doing this is to encourage people to do more mocks, because I appreciate all the sets that Lego puts out, but not everybody has the money to buy sets. When you can get 6 of those little web pieces and 8 of those little prong pieces, and you can do those collapsing little sculptures, that might be a challenge you might want to put out there. You might want to put a challenge out there, because I think that, starting with that sphere, what can you do with that sphere? Because they, like you said, you can have all these different surface areas to attach to. And I did kind of smile when you said you want all your studs on top or something like that. I was like, yeah, that's somebody that I can relate to. And Spot also says that what you did is related to that kinetic sphere toy.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I had created that. I was like, oh, it looks like a germ. Well, it looks like a parasite. All right, then let's make the parasite bigger. So that's why I started adding some more. I'm like, oh, okay, then let's make the parasite bigger. Sorry.
Well, just like Zachary Steinman is known for his cube art, maybe you could be known for some of your sphere art too.
That'd be, yes. Throughout the process of Lego Masters, you will learn how to deal with spheres because, there's so many sculptures. That dog episode with a sculpture, who knows how to build a sculpture now? You know what I mean? Oh, well, it all starts with a sphere, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Symmetry is super important. And it's not just symmetry, it's like quad symmetry, quadrilaterally symmetrical. You know what I mean? So, it's definitely something to learn how to practice a pattern. And reading patterns is super important when trying to get a specific look and for weight distribution or whatever, because we have to think realistically. Be like, oh, okay, how much space do I have? How many pieces do I have ideally? So
Right.
So
And
many things we need to
if you
consider.
follow Tiago Caterino, his favorite piece is the 1x2 plate because you can pretty much make anything out of that,
Yeah, yeah.
which I always found fascinating that, and it comes in so many different colors too. So if you want to break it down, get a bunch of 1x2s and
So
start there.
Tiago and the brick bender use so many 1x2s. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
So
definitely. So going back to programming. So
yes.
you and I were talking about how the Mindstorms EV3 sets, they had that little device that you can program, which we saw on some of the Lego Master shows.
Yeah.
But it sounds like from what you told me offline is that the students all have cell phones. So you're teaching programming through that. So tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Well, there's just so much equipment out there, and these kids already have cell phones. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my 5-year-olds have cell phones. It's like, why do they need a cell phone? Oh, okay, because they're waiting to, when you go pick up the child, there's like there's the parents have to wait in a specific area,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like the drive-through kind of thing. So a lot of the kids have cell phones now. So Lego's like, why have this extra equipment when
Mm-hmm.
we could just use what the kids already have? you
Right.
know, Makes it a little bit, I guess, more affordable in a way.
Mm-hmm.
They're just taking advantage of this new platform. So, and it's, I guess it's better in a way. I guess it's better in a way.
So is this similar to the I guess the app that you can use? Like I built the haunted house I think a year and a half ago, and they had a downloadable app to connect to the motors, and they
Which
also had sound effects too.
which haunted house is it? Is this the really haunted mansion, the one with the
It's it's
elevator?
it's the one with the elevator.
Ah,
Yeah.
you know something? I built it, and I don't even realize that there was an app to it. I
Yes.
just decided to build it so I could play with the mechanisms.
It's interesting because you had to buy two motors for that, the medium-sized motors, because it was intense. And I remember when I was doing it on stream, which is one of the things that people tell me that they don't like to do mocks on stream because you have to talk to your audience and you need to kind of build and create. And I said I prefer that because I get ideas from the chat. But when I was working on that haunted house, and I was using the app, and I think the elevator worked once properly because it has to stop at a certain level, and then the doors open,
It's on
and
purpose.
then there's another button you press, and then it drops. I got it to work once right. I go, okay, that's a wrap. I know it worked once because I tried it several times, and it
I
was
I believe that it was designed to come off as a show, kind of like you're gonna go visit a haunted house.
yeah.
It's not an actual
It's a
haunted
playground.
house.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
it was
it's
a
like a
playground
demonstration. Yes.
kind of ride. And hello, Glenn Copeland. Yes, it's Taco Tuesday. See, you need
Hello.
to do that. You need to do a Tuesday stream if you aren't already.
I do. I do stream on Instagram at 9 p.m. or around 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's usually when I stream
Oh, okay.
because
So in about an hour from now,
I
or
teach and
40
talk. Oh,
minutes.
I'm not going to be teaching tonight. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be doing the live stream tonight. Uh, I'm spending time with you. Okay.
I appreciate that. And
No
and I
problem.
know several people, Tuesdays is the day they stream. And it's just was hard because with Zach Steinman, as I mentioned, he's actually beyond Eastern time because he's in Nova Scotia, Canada. So it's like Atlantic Eastern time. So instead of 9 o'clock, we started at 10 o'clock for him. So I said, okay, I can't do 5
Yeah.
because that's too early to my work day, but we can definitely do 6.
Hmm.
And for those of you who are wondering, so Glenn is in the house, and usually when he comes into a stream, he says meow. The cat that just like walks in and just I want attention and meow, and then he leaves, right? But since you're here, Glenn, here's my taco cat shirt. Taco cat spelled backwards is taco cat. So taco. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you just have to get used to my chat here. I got back from a routine Taco Tuesday meal. So wow, cool. All right, so back to tacos, Blandino. Okay, so we were talking about the app. So if you have the haunted house and it's still built, you need to get the motors and then try out the app because it was challenging, and it seems like more and more Lego sets are moving that direction because I think it was the Disney train. I think the Disney train also used that app as well.
Yeah.
There were several because I remember the best part about it were the sound effects. So for the haunted house, you could have like spooky ghost sounds that you could play,
I'm gonna play with
and
that this weekend. Oh
and
my
then
gosh, that's making me
screaming
excited.
sounds when the elevator dropped. You could hear the
This
people
is the
screaming.
first I hear
You
about
didn't
this.
know this?
No. And I got it for my birthday last yeah, I think I bought it
Okay.
around
Okay.
September,
Well,
October.
when
Yeah.
you do that, and if you're going to stream it, let me know because I want to watch. Because, like I said, I have it in my archive. I will send you the link to my archive
I
because I
promise
did
not
get
to
to
mess
use
up
one.
and use expletives. That's my issue. Like, why isn't it working? Damn me!
Yeah, you're gonna be cursing me for telling you about this, but Spot the Magic Ninja also mentions the roller coasters use it too.
Yes,
Yeah,
I hear that.
I will tell you though, and that's why I'm warning you. If you're gonna do this with the haunted house, I was only able to get it to work like one time correctly. But I do think it goes back to what we were just talking about, this trend that Lego's using more cell phones and trying to integrate the cell phone app into this. And they're doing this with the Mario sets too. What do you think about the Mario sets and how they're using the app for that?
So my daughter was very excited to do the Mario sets.
Mm-hmm.
She because with the Mario, his eyes light up. You know what I mean? So you have all these little sounds, and it's very cutesy. Um, but
I
once
love
again,
it.
yeah, but once again, it's just like trial and error. Everything is getting into coding and into
Mm-hmm.
programming. So these kids are growing up with this. So it's really
Yeah.
great option, you know. But once again, it's nice to know the fundamentals of just building something basic and using a regular motor. Um,
Yeah.
so, but all this is training. Like even for Lego Masters, you see us still using the app, you know, for using the stuff. Season 1 with Boone and Mark using that first
Yeah.
episode, you see them going up that elevator, not
Right.
elevator, the roller coaster,
The
and you
roller
see it not
coaster
working.
that died.
That yeah, sometimes those sensors aren't always the best. So it is a trial and error. I know a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people do use this in class. I know Corey uses it in his class, and it's always not the best, but it is a trial, and that's the best part of working with. We're at the brink of new technology, and we're still testing it out. We're still playing. So
Right.
that's how I view it. If I'm getting paid for it, then I want it to work. But if I'm playing with it, let me enjoy the process. It's okay.
Well, then you want to enjoy the process with that haunted mansion off stream.
Yeah.
That's my advice to you. Don't stream it while you're starting at the first time. But once you get used to the controls, it's actually kind of fun because, like Spot was talking about, the train sounds are really great. But a haunted mansion has those spooky sounds that you can play, while you're building. And since we were talking about Mario, there were a couple times when I was streaming where you lay Mario down on the hammock and he falls asleep, right? But then after a while, he'll shut off. And Glenn talks about dead Mario eyes. So it would be like people would be freaked out if I had this on my down camera and he was sleeping, and then all of a sudden he had dead Mario eyes. So that's kind of an inside joke on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And on the flip side, there's lots of parents that complain about having to use a tablet to do some sets. That's true.
Yeah.
That is very true. And especially if you're traveling, like sometimes people buy Lego sets to go on vacation so that they can keep their kids occupied. And if you don't have the paper instructions, and you might be in a place where maybe the network is not working as well as it is at home, that can be also a bit challenging.
I know Lego fan Bubba likes he doesn't mind his instructions online. I personally, I am old school. I need the paper. Even though the
Yeah.
ink isn't always the best, sometimes the dark confuses with the
Yeah.
black. I need the paper.
I
I
like the paper too.
I have a couple sets that are still, they're in a bin right now because I can't find the manual. So,
But
and I
you can
refuse to
download the manual.
I'm already on my phone and on my tablet enough as it is. I don't want it. I want my Lego time to be stress
Right.
free as possible. That I'm also using my phone for other stuff. Sending you messages, Lego Ben, Lego fan Bubba. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. So
Right.
I'm
And and
responding to your messages. you know.
and Spot is talking about that he has a huge Lego Mario setup. In fact, he's one of the few that I know who actually took the sets and put them like on his shelf in a configuration similar to the game.
Yeah.
And your nephews could care less about the app when they play with them. Yeah, they just some kids just like the Lego itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mario's got dead eyes, like doll's eyes, till he
Un-
bites you.
so I have a lot of students who have the Lego Mario sets, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, a lot of them collect dust because they're so heavily reliant on the
The
app.
app.
They stopped recreating stuff with the Lego Mario
Yeah.
stuff. So that's unfortunate. So I always tell them, that I take donations. um, but it once again, I do like going old school. I like having a regular motor function, power function versus
Hmm.
using Bluetooth.
Right.
For
Or,
instruction.
I mean, Glenn brings up the point about the PDF too. Do you download the PDF sometimes to your laptop or to your
That's
cell phone?
that's definitely an option, but once again, it's just more light, more
Hmm.
blue light. I'm tired. I'm tired of looking at the screen.
Right. That's
Lego
true.
Lego to me is almost as going outside for a walk. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not we're not going
Well,
outside with
it's
our phone.
three-dimensional instead of the two-dimensional. And Jesse's Brick Gallery, yeah, I can never say your name. Jesse's Brick Galaxy is in the house. Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
Hi, mahalo.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so some people here were not aware of that you're a teacher. So, yeah,
Yeah.
she's a very good STEM teacher. In fact, I wanted to bring up that you posted on your Instagram that you did a collaboration with Sam's Brego or Corey Sam's. So, tell us a little bit about how that came about because I know that you're both Lego masters from just different seasons. So, did he reach out to you or did you reach out to him? And how did that come together?
So I've actually known Corey for a while. we
Oh,
both
cool.
we both used to work for the same company, teaching.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So
Oh, wow.
when I heard about him being on the show, a it was a company letter email. I was like, interesting. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? So I already had some insight. I actually even worked with Aaron from season 1.
Oh, nice. Aaron Newman, who also
He was my manager.
really?
We worked together. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
Wow.
that's funny. So we're all
Have you
STEM.
built the
We're all Lego STEM.
slushy? Have you built the penguin slushy van?
No, I have not been to. I was supposed to go to the Lego store January 1st, but I was sick. So
Oh no.
I want to get it in person. I have had it up to here with ordering stuff and it being back ordered. I'm trying to be very patient. I'll be very patient.
It's a great build. I built it last Thursday for my
Yeah.
Thrifty Thursday stream.
I'm so
So if you
proud of
haven't
him.
seen it yet, yeah, you'll love it. Especially that's so cool. See, this is the things. These kinds of stories are things that we don't hear on Lego Masters because they give you just a sliver of time.
Nothing.
So
They
so
give you
going
nothing.
back to you and Corey, you used to work together. You're now doing some STEM training together. So did you reach out to him and just say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to teach another class. Can you be a part of that?"
Yes. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, we need to actually have a STEM instructor from every season. So technically, we had reached out to someone from season 2. They were supposed to join, but something really important came up. So they needed to make sure that, so we're going to open up the opportunity again sometime this spring. It's just a lot is on my plate right now, but he's fantastic. I look up to him. He kind of like helped me understand how to do this, especially.
Oh, he's got like a whole convention. He's got a kids
Yeah,
con, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
should
yeah.
I should have the two of you come on and talk about your kids con whenever
Yeah.
that's going to happen, so we
Yeah.
can promote it some more.
Yeah.
But so there's all these people talking about serial killer Mario, and I, this
I
is.
don't read it. I can't see any chats. I can't see
Oh,
anything.
are you on your cell phone? Is that why you can't
No,
see the chat?
I'm on the computer.
Oh,
I can't see anything. I see when you highlight like
yeah.
these
In the upper right corner, there's a comments button. If you click on the comments button, you should be able to see the chat.
Oh, there's a bunch of chat. Oh my god. Ooh. I didn't see that. Sorry.
Well, oh, no problem. And yeah, so I'm just putting these up so people know that we see them. You prefer the paper instructions, Glenn, right? Yeah, because I do like some of the 3D instructions, especially when you have like brown and black pieces in
That's
the same build. And then you can do like the 3D rotation, and then you can say,
oh,
okay,
that's
that's where the
nice.
brown piece goes.
That's a really nice feature. You don't
Yeah,
always get that with you don't get that with the paper. You just get the arrow just
yeah,
doing this.
yeah, those arrows. Oh, poor sick taco. Glad you're feeling better. Yes,
Thank you.
definitely. And in fact, when I asked her about the 2-minute tech tip, she had recorded that while she was sick, the first one.
It was
And
like
she
I had
said,
an hour where both of my nostrils were finally unplugged.
because I said, you sound great. It sounds like you're better. She goes, oh no. It was like
And
1 hour that I was feeling
afterwards, it
okay.
was just like, and it was barely.
Yeah, so apparently, I guess Lego fan Bubba, you like the paper instructions better or the online because his eyes are garbage.
I think he prefers
People are waving at you.
bye.
Yes, and yeah, Paper Mario.
I don't know how to wave. How do we
Yeah,
wave?
it seems like a lot of people are into the paper instructions. I always feel guilty though throwing the paper instructions away. I almost feel like I'm sorry, I've got to recycle you now, but I
I
just can't keep them all. There's just too many.
um I'm not sure if you've ever followed Minimal Bricks. Because of Minimal Bricks' advice on, letting go of whatever's holding you
Thomas,
down.
right?
I had
Yeah.
so many boxes. I'm not a huge collector. I'm actually an advocate for using what you have and
Yeah.
actually not spending that. If you want to buy yourself an $800 Millennium Falcon, I say use what you have first. That's
Right.
I'm sorry. I grew up, you know, poor. That's a nice way to say it. And yeah, I don't have the privilege of spending all that. I always use what I have. Actually, I built with my students the Coliseum, and ours turned out to be a rainbow Coliseum.
Oh, nice.
We also built the
That's
Eiffel
like
Tower.
800. That's an $800 set, right? The
Yeah,
Coliseum?
well, I mean, ours wasn't based on the set, but in my architecture class, I was like, let's just build a Coliseum. So we're gonna repeat these series. We're gonna make
Right.
it look like ruins. It's not gonna be completely perfect, and that to me was more precious than actually having. And I'm a
Mhm.
huge architecture person. You know what I mean? But that to me was just perfect. You know what I mean? I
Well,
appreciate
you've
that.
seen
That's
a
something that
lot of
me.
builders, since we're talking about kind of mixing and matching what you have to build something, and that's why kind of going back, the chat's really keen on paper instructions. I have to say this one because Debo is always he's full of puns, by the way. Don't be surprised if he starts throwing in some puns, but because he says he loves the paper instructions because you can stack them in the corner of your basement. But kind of going back to what you were saying about what Minimal Bricks was talking about is that sometimes having less is actually more. And then taking what you have, and I've seen a lot of builders, for example, take Friends colors and make a Millennium Falcon out of it. So it has this kind of patchwork kind of feel to it, but they didn't have to spend money to create one. They just took what they had, and I think that might even be a good kind of challenge out there. What can you build that you have in your own collection that is a regular set, right?
That's the best challenge right there. Everyone
Hmm.
is going for the Wally set. Wally cost over $250 in value right now. For
It's
what,
crazy.
700 pieces? You're going to spend close to $300? Really? Don't make me start rebuking you. Like, use what you have in your
We
storage.
need that clipped.
Like, seriously. So make your
Yeah.
own, whether he looks pink or not, just build it.
Well, we were making fun of the wardrobe of Boone Langston's partner, Robin Thicke. I don't know if you watched the holiday special,
It was
and it
fantastic.
was like he did everything he could not to wear plaid, right? So he's wearing like this jacket that's like this patchwork of all kinds of weird colors and shapes,
He
and
just
I'm
didn't want
thinking,
to match Boone. That's all.
oh, that's so much better than plaid. Like, but going back to, I think it goes back to when we were talking about building that sphere, is that if you take what you have, build what you have, and then create something new from that. And if you do want to create, you're big into Star Wars, you want to make the Millennium Falcon, then yeah, you don't have to feel like, and I think and that's probably another show, but I think it's like, how do you get more people to focus on what they've been able to do without spending a lot of money versus I'm honestly, I'm really tired of a lot of the haul videos, especially after January 1st. It's like, look what I bought, look what I bought. And I'm almost ready to challenge, what's your credit card statement like?
Ooh, let's not talk about finances because you're gonna have a whole bunch of people
No,
just
I'm gonna have a lot of haters out there if I did that.
all right.
But
I'll say it how it is. We are a community of hoarders. All right. And we need to check ourselves. We need to not look at social media because that only
yeah,
feeds
it
into it.
reinforces it.
This
Yeah.
person has it. I gotta get it. I gotta no. Chill.
No.
It's not, you're not enjoying the process of playing. Remember, this is plastic.
Right.
Plastic. Let's not take it so serious. Yes, we love it. We have the golden brick. You know what I mean? I have a golden brick earrings and stuff like that.
I've
Chill.
got a
It's only
silver
plastic.
brick.
Yeah. It's like chill. It's only plastic.
Or chrome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
I only keep that here because it reminds me that this 2x4 brick people find really special, but if anything, it's actually quite ordinary. And that's why it's almost like a metaphor that something that can be very ordinary can be seen as very special, right? And that we all can be that way. And I'm just amazed that this hour has just flown by so fast. But I know.
I'm sorry.
No, why are you apologizing? This is great. Now it's up to you. I mean, we could go a little bit longer if you want, but I also wanted just to make sure we covered everything that you wanted to cover about teaching STEM in the classroom.
I'm just grateful that my last words weren't featured on the show. And it's just, we get to do this as adults, and it's crazy because usually when our kids want something, okay, we'll see if we can get it for Christmas. We'll see if we can get it for your birthday. But as adults, we kind of just we just put it in the groceries and stuff like that. So, but we get to do this as adults. Let's remember that this originally started as a child's toy. So we can't take ourselves too seriously when it comes to this. And me, I get paid to inspire, and I get paid to see kids at the birth of their creativity. So that I will always be eternally grateful for. I'm grateful. I'm humbled by it, and just what an opportunity. My parents didn't have the opportunity to play like this. So I'm kind of doing it for them.
And I think you hit it on the head that as adults, and I've told people this, that, back in 2018, when we were AFOLs and people knew we were AFOLs, it was almost like, oh, you play with Lego and how old are you? But then when the marketing strategy changed with Lego and they were encouraging adults, Lego Masters started coming on. Now it's kind of like, oh, it's cool, right? It's cool to be an adult working on this. It's like, and you and I and other AFOLs in the community, a lot of the people here in the chat, we've been in this community for a long time. So it's about time that we embrace the fun and we have, enjoy each other's art and honor each other's art. And I think that's the best part of what's happened in the last couple of years. It's kind of a renaissance, if for lack of a better term, is that, people are starting to recognize that, Lego is an art medium, just like, sculpting or painting or drawing. It's just another art medium. And this is how we express ourselves, through creativity.
That's perfectly said. We're just expressing ourselves. Some may just collect, but we're encouraged that you should try and put the manual down and try and create. I always say to my students, if a build doesn't bring you any joy and you see it collecting dust, just take it apart and just get a basket and just put a
Mhm.
bunch of topics in there. And then every week, just pick out a topic and just build something from that list. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's all about playing and getting lost. I was actually talking to a fellow Lego master, and he was saying that he doesn't play with Lego, and I'm like, aw, he's so busy
Aw.
building. And like you're not playing. You don't get to zoom around. I still try, and I need to step back in order for me to feel the fulfillment of Lego. I
Mhm.
take a step back and I actually try and do play a little bit. Yes, I talk to my minifigures. I make them talk. I make them kiss at times. So remember to play. Look, get like make
Make
yourself
time to play.
micro. You know, make yourself minifigure style, and then look at your city and actually play a little bit.
If
It's
you have
fun.
a city. You
If you
don't
have a
have to have a
city,
city.
no, I don't have a
Yeah.
city. I don't have a city. I have stuff
Yeah.
scattered around the house. A mess.
There's a couple people in the chat who I know have amazing cities. So,
Yeah.
for example, Debo Bricks, if you're not following Debo, he's got this amazing city, and he actually has like a census that he does, and he knows where all the minifigs are. And he's got like this opera house where I know a lot of the minifigs are. And I sent him a sig fig, and mine has like a pirate, myself as a pirate, and he put that on the ship. So there's like a manifest for the ship. You know? So I live vicariously through other people's cities.
It's
So
okay.
that's kind of how I work with that. But I'm sorry I haven't been able to get through all of this chat. But I just want to make sure that we have some. I'm not going to be able to go through all of these, but I just wanted to highlight a couple things about, for example, that like Debo talks about, the great thing about building in lavender, magenta, lime, and pink is that you can score a bunch of those bricks on the cheap. So yeah, when we were talking about just taking a model that you might like, cars are a good example of that. Is that you don't have to make a Lamborghini all in red. You can see what colors you have and then work from there. And then it's kind of like here Lego you can build, and unlike cards you can only build a deck for a game, whereas Lego you can build cities, you can build sculptures, you can build you can just work with the minifigs like you were saying. But before we leave, because I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of your chat, everybody, but you are a chatty group today. Thank you, Debo, Lena, Spot the Magic
Oh,
Ninja, Glenn
heretic.
Copeland, Jesse's Brick Galaxy. I slowed myself down so I could say that right. Lego fan Bubba. I mean, all of you who've been hanging around. And if I missed any of you, we know that we love you. You love us. We're all one big happy family. But I do want to mention that if you do want to follow Tacos, here we go. So she has two handles. So you can go to Legos, Tacos Burritos, or STEM Powered by Tacos, both of them on Instagram. You can find her there. Also, I have an announcement too about a challenge that I'm running along with the Mind the Brick. So just to show you, we have in the far right, I do things on Instagram, but only challenges. So for the month of January, it's called Mind the Baby and Mind the Brick. So what you do is you just take a baby minifigure. It could be an animal. It could be a little baby one. The space baby would be great. Make a mock of any kind and then use that hashtag. And this is my new schedule now. So you're listening today on Tuesday for Builder Insights at 6 p.m. My next show will be Thursday, 8 o'clock. And then I'm back on Twitch again, too, on Sundays. But first, we're going to have another special programming, 1 p.m. on YouTube, and then 6 p.m. on Twitch. So yeah, that's my new schedule, and it's been interesting just seeing how things have evolved. I've been streaming for about 2 years now, and just being able to get to know you better has been awesome. I know I met you in person at BrickCon, which was a delight, and also getting a chance to interview you and Michelle for our our review at the Lego Masters show. But I really hope that we get a chance to chat some more. I'm really looking forward to when you start working with the Haunted Mansion and that app. I can't wait to hear from you about how that's going to go.
I'm like looking at the Haunted Mansion right now. I'm just thinking how frustrated I'm going to be, but it's going to be enjoyable. I'm
not going to be frustrated. I mean, you've built it, right? Have you built it already?
It's already. I built it like well over a year ago.
Yeah. It's just getting all of the programming to work. You got to buy the 2 motors if you don't have them already, and so lots of things to consider. But remember, folks, we're on YouTube, so please remember to like and subscribe to the stream. So I'm now up to like 345 followers. So I'm not doing this for the money, because you have to get to like 1,000, because you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network here on YouTube. If you want to send any kind of fan mail, you can send it to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, P.O. Box 31956, Seattle, Washington 98103. And once again, Tacos, always great to have you here. I will always wear my taco shirt if ever you come back. I haven't scared you off, so I'm glad that to have you here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of, especially now that you have your LLC and you've been on the show. People know who you are, and you guys. I'm just really, really thankful to have really strong women who are leading the charge in this space. So thank you for all you do. Really great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Like super, super grateful.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. And everybody, as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, thank you so much. And, sorry, I got to get rid of this banner. Oh no, what did I do? One more thing.
I was going to say.
Okay, I will do my closing again. Okay, and everybody, as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, thank you, and may the clutch be with you. Take care, everybody. Bye.
I was going to say that.
What, you going to say that?
May the clutch be with you.
Okay.
Go ahead. I was going to say along with you.
Okay, we'll do it again.
It's going to be awkward as heck.
End scene. Okay, ready?
1, 2, 3.
May the clutch be with you. That's a great thing about
and
editing.
The Catholic in me is going to say, and you too.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say it together.
Never mind. I'm socially awkward. For those of you that don't know, this is me. Hold on.
Okay, let's try it one more time.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. I'm not going to sniff my armpit with you. Sorry. You're on your own on that one. Okay. 1, 2, 3. May the clutch be with you.
Thank you, Naomi. I appreciate it.
Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye.